Hi teacher, hi guys. I'm gonna explain you Unit 3, phrases and sentences. Firstly, as we already know, words must be organized in a certain way in order to communicate effectively what we want to say. This is part of grammar, of course, grammar of language. Words can be organized in phrases, clauses, sentences, which are very different, and we're gonna see that in a moment. And of course, whole texts, whether spoken or writing. And moreover, syntax is the principle to form them mm, because it is the main um, the main part of grammar which is involved in this topic. And we're gonna start with phrases. Um, what is a phrase? A phrase is a structure usually composed of more than one word, but it doesn't present a subject predicate construction. There are different classifications for the types of phrases, but they all consider the most important word that the phrase contains. This is the head of the phrase, um, and to name it works to name their categories. Sometimes there are different names for the same type of phrase, uh, like in this case, noun and nominal phrases are the same as pronoun or pronominal phrases. In other cases, some categories include two different types of phrases. For example, adpositional phrases include prepositional. For example, in the meantime is a prepositional phrase as it is introduced by a preposition at the beginning, and postpositional ones which do not occur in English, but yes, in our language and in other languages too. Um, for instance, in the phrase the red carpet, the head would be the word carpet, which is a noun. So it would be the main reason that it is a noun phrase. A noun phrase. For instance, in some cases, words like participles, like the verb with ed and the regular participles forms, gerunds like ing form, as you already know, infinitives like the simple form, and appositives like in the example the animal, a large chicken, is crossing the road. Appositives are always between commas because they are extra information. Um, they could be considered as types of phrases. What is a clause? We are going to pass with clause, with the topic clause. The clause is also a group of words, but unlike the phrase, the clause does not have one subject, whether explicit or implicit, and one predicate or main verb. There are two general kinds of clauses, independent and dependent or subordinate. An independent clause makes sense by itself. It is the general clause and can be the main clause or coordinate clause in multiple clause or complex sentence. And it couldn't be separate from dependent. Dependent is united to independent. They are inseparable. The dependent or subordinate clause does not make sense by itself and depends on an independent clause to complete its meaning. Therefore, it is always part of a multiple clause or complex sentence. independence clause is the type of connector they use as a coordinate one, like in complex sentences. For instance, the phrase "I can give you a lift" is the main independent clause, and the other phrase "if you like," I can give you a lift if you like. If you like is a dependent clause because it couldn't be separate from this main independence clause. And finally, what is a sentence? We could define a correct complete sentence as the unique language with at least one main clause, that is, one subject and its corresponding predicate or main verb, in which case it is called one clause or simple sentence. It is called multiple clause or complete sentence when a sentence has more than one clause. It can include coordinate clauses joined by coordinate conjunctions, or it can contain a main clause and one or more subordinate clauses, which are all introduced by their corresponding connectors. Syntax is the cognitive capacity of human beings that allows us to connect linguistic meanings with linguistic forms. The study of syntax has generated a great deal of empirical and theoretical knowledge over the decades. And we could not have done any of this without having a notion of what is syntax. Syntax will also be an important issue to look because it is fundamental component in the language and the language rules like grammar. And that's all for me now. Thank you very much.